Could be one of the harder things to do. Anyway, Patrice O'Neal died. Here's what happened. I didn't even read the news, the full news, but I know he had a stroke a couple weeks ago. And which is funny because there was a show called Different Strokes, which had black people in it. Patrice O'Neal, the comedian who gave you laughs on Web Junk 2.0, The Office, and Arrested Development. Are you kidding me? He died today after suffering a diabetic-related stroke back in October. B.B. King says,
"Nobody better lay a figure on... Wait a minute. You could die from this? I better put down the candy."
I thought the only thing black people got was diabetes and sickle cell anemia.
Oh, that's not funny. You don't laugh at the end of that.
I don't know.
This is a man who died, and it really isn't funny. I hope people don't think that we're...
No, you really like this guy.
Farting on him while he died. Yeah, I started listening to Opie and Anthony a long time ago, and he was always a regular on that show, and he had these epic, long rants about women, the difference between men and women, and he was the best at doing it. He made the difference between men and women jokes non-hack. Probably one of the best comedians living today. Well, probably one of the best comedians living yesterday. I don't know why we're giggling at this, Ryan.
Certainly the best comedian who died today. We can say that for certain.
Oh, yeah. But I also don't want to belittle how much of a loss this is for everybody.
Of course not.
However, I do know that there are a bunch of white comics who are going, good. Because he hated them. He hated phonies. And he had to watch phonies perform all around them. You could tell even on that last Charlie Sheen roast that he was on, where he gave that really crazy, epic roast. At the end, he was the last guy to go. He headlined the roast, and he did it in a totally different style that we had never seen roasters do. Because every comedian copies the same roast cadence because they think that's all that you're able to do. Patrice did not do that because he watched them do that, and it sickened him. And even though he didn't say that, you could tell on his face he was sickened by phonies. Okay, and he might have even hated white people, except for Opie and Anthony because they had millions of listeners to feed to him.
How do you cook a listener?
You put it in a pan. Wait, that's Whoopi. Anyway, I loved that he had the disgust for people like Amy Schumer. He won't ever admit to that. Nobody will ever say that. But Amy Schumer, this brand new comedian girl who was on Charlie Sheen's roast, who everybody in LA loves because she's got cute pudgy face. And I love that because to be a female comedian, if you're mildly, like if someone will fuck you, all of a sudden there's interest. And it really is true. Like if you're mildly cute, that industry will carry you for the rest of your life. And you will take a comedian who, if was a guy, would never make it as far as how they go when they're girls. And that is absolutely true. I don't care what you want to say about it. It's absolutely true. And by the way, I don't listen to comics anymore because they're numbskulls. He hated Amy Schumer, you could tell, allegedly. And I loved that about him. I loved his honesty, and I loved that he wasn't afraid to say things. He was one of the only comedians, really, who, he went on Fox News. I think he was on one of these Fox News shows, and he just said what everybody should be saying. And I don't remember exactly what it was about, but it was, he had guts, and if he didn't like something, he would say it, and he wouldn't just do things to get ahead in the industry.
Yeah, not everyone can just be part of the flock.
And he sure wasn't. And that's what I respected most of him. And he was brilliantly funny. So it is sad to see.